Hello students and welcome to the Principles of Aerobic Conditioning. My name is Dr. Angela Santoni and I am going to be your professor throughout this course and your guide, and hopefully we'll get to know one another and stay in touch after the class. I gave you guys a lot of background about myself on Blackboard, so I'm not going to use this time to talk about myself. This evening, which is Friday evening, I've started reading about all of you. I'm excited to learn more about you. We have a lot of athletes in this class, so I believe that this class will be extremely relevant to you. I do have the background. I think I put this in my intro, and if not, it's fairly relevant, that while working in New York City, I actually did have the opportunity to work with professional athletes through the Hospital for Special Surgery with the Mets. When the Mets were off season, we worked with them there. So I hope to share some of my experience and knowledge with you, while at the same time being completely accessible. If you ever have any questions for me, please ask. This evening, I promised that I would reach out to you. I want to make sure that you see my face, that you know who I am. I will generally touch base once or twice a week sometimes via video chat. And like I said, on Thursday evenings between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., my intention is to be live. So I will be on Blackboard, on my computer. If you need me, you can text me. My phone number is available in the faculty information section. It's kind of like all over the course syllabus. All of the documents have my contact information, and I would encourage you. I am a professor that I don't understand how professors don't use text. So please text me. That is my world, and I will text you back. If you do text me, just make sure that you include your name, because I don't have your phone numbers. And outside of that, you can always email me, and Thursday night I'll be live. So if you email me Thursday night at that time, you'll get a response pretty immediately. Okay, so some of you, most of you actually, I'm learning from the discussion board, have taken online classes at McDaniel before. So just to kind of go through what hopefully you already know, but just to refresh, if you look over here, you can see the title of the class is at the top. And then as you go down, there's the announcements tab. The first tab then is Read Me First. Hopefully you have read that at this point. The Read Me First gives you just kind of like a great overview of the class. It sets up how we're going to be graded. Just to reiterate, the class is taught in 4 modules. Each of the modules, they're completely related to one another, and they do build upon each other. However, there are no cumulative exams in the sense that the final exam is from all 4 modules. So while the 4 modules are meant to be taken in succession, because they build upon, they assume that you have the information from the module before, they are also meant to stand alone. So there are no comprehensive exams in the sense that when we've moved on to Module 2, I would not anticipate you needing to go back to Module 1 only for your own resources. Like if you needed to refresh information, then of course you would do that. So hopefully that's clear. There are 3 comprehensive examinations, comprehensive meaning each module. So at the end of each 2-week module, there's one exam that examines all of the information from within the module. The exams are going to be very reflective of the discussion board questions. So as long as you stay on top of the readings and are comfortable with the discussion board, then you'll be fine on the exam. This class is meant to give more knowledge about programming The class that I teach after this next semester is aerobic conditioning programs. And it's during that class where we will actually look at creating programs for things like a Tough Mudder, for triathlons. I know one of us has done one. I'm so jealous. I can't do open water swimming. I'm like a feather in the wind. I cannot do open water swimming. I've tried and failed. But with the main learning objectives, which are, again, kind of all over the place in here, is that we're really going to start this first module looking at some physiology. Now, this is not a physiology course, so it's not the type of thing where I'm going to ask you, to memorize, at what phase does acetyl-CoA come into place and what is NADH? But to understand the physiology of aerobic conditioning, and really in regards to like the timing and what the limitations are. And again, your Blackboard discussion questions will become available. I'm going to post them early, the second part. So they should be available to you Monday morning, if not earlier. And normally with each module, the discussion board questions are available when the module opens. I take a little bit of time with this module to release those first questions because I don't want you to feel any anxiety about this class at all. I want you to take the time to get to know one another, and because that's equally as important, because in an online environment, we really do learn from one another, and are really dependent on each other's feedback. So that's why I'm doing this video, so that you can see me. If any of you would like to do a video post, that's also okay. The second learning goal, which is associated with the second module, we're going to look at the muscular and skeletal systems and literally what happens to them when we condition the body aerobically. And in fact, during that section, we'll also discuss why it is impossible to be a jack of all trades. If you're really conditioning the body in one way, why is it then impossible? If you're an endurance athlete, why does that compromise things like power? Because it does, and we'll talk about that, especially with the muscular system. The third, we're going to talk about the other systems of the body. So because this is an exercise science program, we clearly need a whole chunk to talk kind of about the muscular and skeletal systems. In the third section, we'll talk about the heart and lungs. You guys have probably, this is a master's degree program in exercise science, you've probably been inundated with heart and lungs. So we'll review that and how they change. We'll also talk about the brain. I find that the empirical information that's available now about the brain is worth reviewing because it's not present in textbooks. So I'm excited to share that with you, and some of the kind of more progressive research on the role of aerobic conditioning and the impact on brain matter. And then finally, the final module is gonna assume again that you know all three of those things, and we will look at different performances and start to break them down. Look how different people perform, start to break them down and understand how aerobic conditioning did impact that performance. Maybe some things that if someone performed in a certain way, how would you change their training plans so that their performance would be improved? Which is slightly different than writing a training program, which is the second part of the class, which I'm teaching next semester. So breaking down a program and evaluating what happened is kind of the first step of understanding how to create them. So I'm really excited about this class. I'm excited. I'm trying to keep these less than 10 minutes. So I've got 30 seconds. So again, that was just kind of going over the README first. If you go into the syllabus, I would say what I want to point out to you that might not be obvious is if you go all the way down to the bottom of the syllabus, what is attached there, the final component, is a syllabus that you can print. I don't know if when I was grad student getting my doctorate, we had everything was moderated online, and it was still always, I had to have the syllabus printed or else I would forget. I'd forget to post. I'd forget my secondaries, whatever. I would just forget. So there is a syllabus to print at the bottom. If any of you need any type of accommodation, I've included how to request that in here. And then probably where most of you are feeling kind of like the most, wanting the most clear answers is with the calendar and exactly what I'm expecting when. And if you look at the semester calendar section of the syllabus, it's very, very clear. The exact dates are there, the exact times are there, when you're posting primaries are there, when you're posting secondaries are there. So that should be clear. If you have any questions about my expectation or when you should be doing things, please don't hesitate to reach out at all. In addition, we are all grown people in this class. If you have a conflict, if you are feeling like overwhelmed, and you're just like, there's no way I'm able to post by 5, just shoot me an email. The best thing that you can do is remain in communication with me. I'm an extremely fair professor, but I'm also not going to cheat you by not making sure that you're learning something in this class. It's very important to me. School is an expense that should be worth it, and I hope to deliver that to you this semester. So I think that that's all for me tonight. Again, I have children. I'm actually in one of their rooms right now. I still do consulting for companies. I'm a full-time professor at McDaniel. I don't do triathlons, but I do run marathons. So I, like you, am juggling a lot of things, and I think I can respect where you're coming from. Absolutely. So if you need anything, just make sure to reach out to me. The course guide, so that would be right under the syllabus, will release with each module and tell you exactly kind of what those modules will contain. So we're getting ready to hit the science pretty hard here with the second half of this module. I am going to upload a narrated PowerPoint for those of you who need a more fundamental refresher. That will be narrated and uploaded probably by the end of the day Sunday. It's not required material. It's just kind of if you would like to use it. I do also teach physiology, so it might be a helpful refresher to you. And the last class I taught online, I was Skyped frequently with my students, so also open to that. So here we go. We're starting out my second semester at McDaniel. I think my students last semester were pretty happy, so I hope that you are too. Again, I want to be as accessible to you as you need me to be, and as accommodating as you need me to be, while making sure that we achieve the learning objectives here in this journey, learning about the basic fundamental principles of aerobic conditioning. I am super psyched to see what you guys think about the conflicting, totally opposite opinions. Mike Boyle always ruffles my feathers, but he's not an unintelligent guy. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I posted those videos purposefully because they're very confusing when you watch them together. And I look forward to working with you this semester. Thanks a lot and have a great weekend. Good night.